Every journey begins with one small step. You're not far off. You're probably just a tiny little 2-degree shift away from joy. It just takes one small step. Find your chair. Choose your chair. Sit your butt down in your chair and get still. Listen to what's going on inside of you, even if it's just for 60 seconds. Take the journey, take that step to find your chair of joy. You will not find true joy anywhere on the outside. It only comes from within. I am Jan Goss. I am the CEO of Civility Consulting. I think we could use a little more civility in the world today. So, what a pleasure it's been for me and my team to really promote kindness, cultures of kindness, do corporate soul development. Super exciting to be a part of this beautiful enlightenment movement that's going on across the globe. And I truly just feel honored. The way that I got where I was is not a straight pathway between point A and point B. It definitely has been a long and winding road. Even this year in 2020, all of our favorite year, right? 2020, I became a widow. I lost my husband this year. So once again, another blow, another opportunity to really go deep within myself and figure out who I am and why I'm here and how I can take what has come of the hardships and from the struggles, really, in my life and turn it around for good. So I work mostly with heads of companies. Typically, they're 100 million and under, up to about 100 employees. And that's my sweet spot. And I love what one of my clients said is, Jan, you help me not break. And I think when we are at the top, we find ourselves in this space, where do we go? Like, what do I do? I'm at the top. This was my aspiration. This is where I wanted to be. And now what? Like, who can I turn to? So I am that safe place to turn to. And life's experiences have been my best teacher. I did have formal education, but honestly, that was not my education. My education came through life's experiences. I was a late bloomer. I created 4 successful companies after the age of 40. Since I'm only 42, I think that's pretty amazing, right? Okay, maybe I have a couple of decades going on after that, but what an exciting voyage. And so I think part of the story that it's never too late to follow your dreams. It's never too late to get in alignment with who you are and what's going on inside of you. That's part of the big picture. One of the things that I discovered early on in life is that joy does not come from any external force. It truly does come from within. And on a daily basis, I have to have quiet time. That's what I call it. I call it time when I can just sit with things. So whatever is on my heart, I take a moment to sit with it until I find that place of peace. So in terms of joy, for me personally, joy is kind of a secondary emotion, a secondary spiritual force that, in my personal experience, comes from peace. Because when I find peace within myself, it produces such great joy in the middle of loss, in the middle of heartache, in the middle of grief, in the middle of a crazy world that we live in. On a daily basis, I find peace from being still and knowing that God is God. Woohoo! So, from the joy just came a lot of pain. So that was an interesting little thing that happened. Joyous was in Paris with Rick, with my husband. Just the feeling of being in the city. It was my first time to Paris, and it was so beautiful and so overwhelmingly, everything about Paris to me was just over the top. So it was just such a great feeling of joy and being with the love of my life in this beautiful romantic city. It was wonderful. A joyous time when I was a little girl was being out in nature. Oh my goodness, I loved to be outside. I lived up in Boston, Massachusetts. The leaves were this big. They were huge when I was a little girl. And I loved to be out in nature, and I would twirl around and I would feel the wind blow and just loved that whole connection with nature. Jan being Jan. It's Jan. Jan. That's what connects it. Jan. Me being me. Me being myself. Me being fully present with who I am. It's gold. It's sparkly. It's clean. It's pure. It's holy is the word that comes up. You will not find true joy anywhere on the outside. It only comes from within. I would give that beautiful box of truth, of true joy, to the Christian world so they could truly discover the way, the truth, the life that lives within. My house is full of beautiful places. I have created spaces of joy all throughout my house. So I have a place where I sit in a chair, where I light candles on a daily basis, and it's my prayer chair. And then I have a big chair and a half that's up in my bedroom that's all snuggly, and it's got a nice blanket and some soft pillows, and that's my little snuggly reading chair. And then I have this fabulous executive chair in my office that is where I allow my work to happen and just let my imagination go and really serve my clientele from that chair. So I have several chairs. I have chairs outside in the courtyard where I love to be amongst the palm trees and listen to the wind in those leaves again. And I have many special chairs of joy. There are just a few things that are absolutes in life. And one of those things is we all get 24 hours in a day. No one gets more, no one gets less. Another absolute is we all have a certain number of days that we will be here on this planet. We all are in that same boat. And when we get to that last day, the most important thing is to look back on your life and know that it was a life filled with joy. Not just for you personally, but that you brought joy to those around you, that you used your gifts, your talents to make a difference, to lift someone else up, to make a difference in this planet and to spread that joy. Every journey begins with one small step. You're not far off you're probably just a tiny little 2-degree shift away from joy. It just takes one small step. Find your chair. Choose your chair. Sit your butt down in your chair and get still. Listen to what's going on inside of you, even if it's just for 60 seconds. Take the journey, take that step to find your chair of joy. What makes you feel joyful? What is an object? What's something that you can attach joy to and put it in your presence so that every time you see it, touch it, feel it, it will remind you of the joy that lives within you. Joy is more than just ethereal sprinkle fairy dust. Joy is a spiritual force. It is a life-giving, life-changing force that lives within me and it lives within you. However, many people live and die and they never tap into that beautiful, amazing gift because we don't slow down long enough to tap in. So I just want to encourage you to find your personal chair of joy. Find that space where you can give yourself permission to go within and find out this beautiful, vast area of riches that lives within you. Find that place, find that space. It's worth it, whatever it takes. Find your chair of joy.